My name is Johnny Gray. It's just a name, and I know that for you it's the same. The world I know seems not to know me. Here's my number, I need a call. I'm Johnny Gray, Gray.
Hey everybody, it's Johnny Gray. I'm just starting on YouTube. Thought I'd try Greedfall for the first game. Just came out. It's a game I've been really excited about. A concept that I've always really enjoyed, kind of based in technology versus magic. So I'm pretty excited to check it out in a modern day iteration. There have been plenty of older games that try to pursue this, but it's never was done quite as well as I would have liked. So I'm hoping with modern day technology in a next gen or current gen game that we have a better offering for this concept, and hopefully this concept will kick off a little bit more.
Could you stand a little taller, just a tad?
Let's see.
Like this?
Yes. The chin a tiny bit lower. Gaze a little more to the right. There! Now, hold the pose.
Alright. Character customization. Probably going to be pretty intense. See what we can do with it here. Got some vines growing on my face, that's interesting. The hairs are all tragically kind of similar. It's a little upsetting, but oh well. It's not that big of a deal. You'll generally find as do more and more games as the channel goes on, and that I almost always make a female character for my first character. So far the character customization is a bit limited. I don't know. Hopefully there's a little bit more of an expansion to it after I get off the screen. I don't really have the... I'm kind of set in a few things with my character creation. I always tend to have a green eyes, red hair, at least on my female characters. My male characters are a bit different. Let's see. Pick your starting skills according to your playstyle. Warrior, tactical, or magic. This profile focuses on controlling the battlefield. Some traps, one-handed blades. Says a thief. One-handed heavy weapons, one-handed blades, firearms, pretty generic warrior. Divine magic ring, stasis, one-handed heavy weapons, science and intuition. Oh, that's interesting. I'll go with magic. Pick an attribute to invest your first point according to your preferred playstyle. Strength, endurance, accuracy, agility, mental power, or willpower. Increases fury generation and all damage inflicted in melee combat. Attribute required to wield the best one-handed / two-handed swords. Increase the power of all melee attacks. Attribute required to wield the best one-handed / two-handed blunt weapons. Increase the power of all spells. Attribute required to wear the best rings. Willpower, increase maximum MP and spell duration. Attribute required to wear the best amulets and necklaces. So at least it's kind enough to tell you exactly what kind of equipment each attribute affects. Accuracy increases the power of all firearms and alchemical preparations. Attribute required to wield the best firearms. And endurance, increase maximum life and balance. Attribute required to wear the heaviest armors. I think I'm gonna go with mental power. Choose the talent in which to invest your starting point and to progress in your own way as you complete quests and explore the world. Interesting. Gathering sites become easier to see, slightly increases the number of ingredients and objects obtained through gathering and looting, unlocks contextual dialogue options. Useful. Craftsmanship allows you to craft, okay. Basic crafting system. So you pass through certain vigor, lets you pass through certain difficult passages that require balance. Increase the maximum ammo capacity and slightly recover HP and magic outside combat. That's incredibly useful. Lockpicking, that's pretty self-explanatory. You pick locks. Science allows you to make simple potions, allows you to destroy weak walls with the help of explosive files. And charisma slightly reduces merchants' prices and slightly improves your companion's combat abilities, and slightly increases the chance of success of some dialogue choices. Kind of torn between charisma and intuition. I tend to like to have as many dialogue options available as I possibly can. I think I'm going to go with charisma. And let's get the game started.
Just a few more minutes. You have such an incredibly singular face. That's a compliment, my lady, out of my mouth. Your particularity gives you character.
You're still here?
We have nearly finished. Have you any more need of me, Master?
You haven't forgotten that we're setting sail today, have you?
Of course not.
Your cousin is nowhere to be found. I've searched the palace from
Not
cellars to
sure
attics. Your uncle is beside
supposed to
himself.
be hanging
He
off
was
a
of a mind
belt
to paint the
there.
town last night. Don't worry.
I'm
I shall track
hoping
him
that's
down.
not supposed to be the
Make head to
rapier,
your own
because
preparations
it's
without
not
breaking
rendering all the way.
We'll meet you on the boat.
But
It's
I
about
don't
time your cousin took
nitpick
account
games
of the
like that,
responsibilities awaiting
especially
him.
when they're new.
He should go
You're,
and inform the ambassadors of
a
Ptolemy and the Bridge
lantern or
Alliance of
something.
his departure.
Have no fear, Master. I will go and see them in his name. I beg your pardon, but urgent matters call me away. Might we finish all this later?
Impossible, my lady. You are leaving with the tide, if what I've been told is correct.
I am sorry, sir, truly. I must be going.
My lady, please, I beg you. Her Highness has personally requested I finish.
Thank you, cousin, for getting me out of that.
Well, I just screwed that guy over. Sucks to be him. The compass visible at the top center of the screen indicates important places and active quests. Main quest, side quest. Pretty basic stuff so far. Cake. Handling is a little
Madam,
awkward.
I'm sorry. I'm afraid that I won't make for good company.
Interesting. It's not that it handles poorly. Just seems like navigating around people can be a little awkward, but part of that's probably because I've been playing a lot of Warframe,
Green blood!
things like that lately.
Kurt!
And so the day has finally come. My royal fledglings are leaving the nest.
Accompanied by their most loyal and tenacious Master of Arms.
As loyal as your gold.
Enough with the cold mercenary. I know you like us. Still hiding your men in the unsuspecting shadows of the greats of this world, I see.
Hey, our blades are the only thing keeping you dainties alive.
Kurt, I'm not in need of your protection. I'm no longer a child, you know.
Is that so? Well, let's see. Fight with honor!
Attack 3 times. Left controls secondary attack. Left control. Interesting. Okay, it doesn't hold it up. Good to know. He's creaming me. There we go. Alright. That's good to know. Prove to Kurt that you can fight. Okay. Tactical pause will pause the game, allow you to choose your next action. Okay. That's good to know, but I really, really hate tactical pause. Okay. Apparently I have to do it. Okay.
Me who thought
Combat's
myself
gonna be
a
a little
competent
interesting.
weapons master.
It's becoming a little hard to believe.
Don't add insult to injury. This is humiliating enough. We'll need to get you through the basics, or you risk getting your feathers plucked at the first sign of trouble.
That could definitely come in handy.
In that case, Otto here is going to be your training partner. Go! Fight with honor!
You know, kinda wish I had beat him so I wouldn't have to keep going through training, but... and force this tactical pause. Magic's out. That's great. So... Physical armor levels shown as shields on the health bar. Armor absorbs part of the physical attack. Break their enemy's armor. You can use an impact weapon or certain traps. Magic attacks ignore armor. That's useful. Ow. Right, so I'm squishy as hell. Fury is a state that allows you to use special attacks and inflict bonus damage and make enemies lose their balance. A segmented meter that fills up as you attack an enemy, cast a spell, or parry attacks from enemies will allow you to see your Fury level. When the meter reaches the first level, a visual effect will appear on your character's hands. Press Q to use a Fury attack. Sheathe your weapon out of combat.
It appears we've brushed up on the basics.
It does. And I'd like to be on my way. I've quite the list of things to do before we depart.
Indeed. Remember that you can always train in our barracks on the island if you're feeling rusty.
Are your bags packed for the great departure?
Yes, you know I get by with very little. You're not angry that I'm coming with you, I hope.
On the contrary, I am thrilled that both you and Sir de Courcillon are joining our party. A few friends at your side in unknown territory is a boon.
Don't tell me the old school teacher is competing against me. By the way, where is our future governor hiding? I was hoping to put his skills to the test as well.
Have no idea. He had plans to celebrate his departure last night, and we haven't seen him since. You know Constantine. I should have gone with him, but my heart wasn't in the mood for a celebration. The thought of bidding my mother farewell.
It is never easy to say goodbye. But you should be going to see her now. She must be waiting for you. I'll meet you in front of the palace. Then we'll go and find Constantine together.
Very well. I'll meet you as soon as I've said my goodbyes.
Meet Kurt in front of the palace. Go talk to Mother. Alright, combat's gonna be a lot of fun. I enjoy what they're doing with it. It's
What
gonna
is
take
this?
a little bit of,
Have you not been taught to knock? I've asked 1,000 times. Oh, it's you, my dear child.
Mother, I'm sorry. I'm having trouble getting used to your condition.
Come now, let's speak of more pleasant things. I'm so very happy to hear your voice. You remind me so much of your father. I do miss him so. Today is the big day, isn't it? Ready to set sail for that island everyone's talking about.
Yes, but the idea of leaving you behind, alone and ill.
Dying, my child. Alas, there is nothing you can do by staying that would ease my suffering. One thing brings me cheer. They say the island is full of miracles, and we might find a cure.
Even if I were to find it, I would never be able to return in time to...
I know. But it brings me comfort to know my daughter has left on a mission to heal her people. Come now.
oh,
It's
that's
time for you to
unfortunate.
take leave. Here, take this with you.
What is it?
A family heirloom. Something that... Take it and keep it with you. May it bring you good luck. All my blessings go with you, my child. Now, be off.
Alright, well, things in this kingdom seem pretty grim. I've got a hat. That is a decent hat. Needs a feather.
Kurt. It's done.
Sorry, Greenblood. Look, we can see the masts of the ship that'll be taking us. This is one sacred adventure we're embarking on.
I hope this island will keep its promises.
In order to know that, we'll need to find Constantine first.
You were right. Maybe he is already at the port. He was so eager to leave.
This will be quite the chore to finish before our departure. The commander wants to recover some merchandise from our supplier, but the transporter doesn't want to deliver. I did all I could to persuade. Nothing came of it. All the parliamenting fatigues me. But this is your domain. I wouldn't say no to a little help.
Of course. Where is the supplier located?
In the lower boroughs, near the port.
Right then. We'll put it on our list of visits.
Companions on the team, 0 out of 1. Kurt. Okay. Interesting little breakdown. characteristics. Alright, so you can really get in, see what's going on with someone before you add them to the team. That's good to know.
Where would you like to begin?
I've been asked to pay visits to the ambassadors of Ptolemy and the Bridge Alliance before our departure. Their dwellings are not far from here. We could go there first.
Very well. Do you think Constantine will be waiting for us next to the ship?
I don't know, but it is certainly worthy of inspection.
Okay, so we've got a lot of question marks. Got an embassy there, Bridge Alliance there, and the vendors down there. Whew. For being the starting area of the game, where it sounds like you spend very little time, it's got a lot of points of interest. What you have to say?
Greetings, Your Excellency.
I believe I've seen you at the palace. Are you one of the prince's relatives?
Alright, so some people know who I am, some people do not. The prince is a more effective bit of royal personage than myself.
Oh, hello, Your Excellency. It is an honor.
Your Excellency.
Lady de Sade, I have been told that you were named legate. Congratulations. Those are great responsibilities for someone as young as yourself. But you will bring honor upon your family and the congregation. Of that I'm certain.
I thank you, Excellency. I've come here to inform you of our departure for Teofredi. My cousin Constantine is taking office as governor of New Serene, and I'm accompanying him.
I had no idea you would be leaving so quickly. What a shame. I had thought... Well, then, that is a pity. Have a pleasant voyage. A brilliant future awaits you. They say that it is a marvelous island. Please convey to your cousin my congratulations and sincere wishes for success.
You seem slightly hesitant. Please, tell me what troubles you.
A rather unscrupulous individual has been sowing trouble in Serene. A charlatan passing himself off as an alchemist.
Do people actually give credence to these lies?
Alas, yes. They snatch up his celebrated panacea. Remedies worse than the ill, believe me. As you can well imagine, alchemists are our pride. This vulgar trickster casts dirt upon their reputation and our own at the same time. In any city of the Bridge Alliance, we would have arrested him. But here, we respect your laws.
I shall see what I can do, but make no promises. My departure is imminent.
I thank you, Excellency. And I am pleased to see you have taken so well to your new functions of diplomacy. The man operates in the city center. He is said to be clever and mean. Be careful.
Would you be so kind as to tell me what you know about the Bridge Alliance?
With pleasure. A legate needs to know the history and strengths of her allies. The alliance was sealed by several nations of the Bridge around 200 years ago. The greatest of our cities, Al-Sad, became the capital, and a council formed from the different nations now rules. This union was originally put into place to better resist the appetites for conquering our neighbors. But our ancestors quickly realized that the union had also strengthened us economically and culturally. And of course, exchanges in knowledge were strongly encouraged from the outset. Today, it is by no means an overstatement to claim that the Bridge Alliance leads our world in science and exploration. Each day, we push the limits of our understanding further in each and every domain.
Could you give me your understanding of the relations
Seems
between
like
the
instead of
congregation
technology
and the
versus
bridge?
nature, it's more going to be
relations
science
hang
versus
essentially
magic.
on the quality of our trade and commerce. The exchanges are very profitable, especially on the cultural front. I will not hide from you that we have hoped you would join our number for quite some time. But your princes insist on maintaining a neutral stance between the congregation and the other nations on the continent. It is by all means a respectable position, even if it means you also trade with our enemies.
The Bridge Alliance has been on Tirfredi for much longer than we have. What can you tell me?
It is true that we founded Hikmet, our newest city, around 15 years ago now. Alas, I haven't been able to go there myself. I can only tell you what others have reported to me. It is a luxurious island. An enormous dead volcano thrones in its center. The vegetation is extremely varied, and the fauna wondrous. We discovered animals that we had never ever seen before. Some are bigger than houses. But they're not the only occupants of the island. A savage and crude people also live there, who speak an incomprehensible language. But you shall discover all of this for yourself soon enough.
Seems like I won't discover all of this for myself soon enough, fast
And
enough.
what of your war with Ptolemy?
Not that I mind background
It has
lore
been
or conversation with
dragging on.
NPCs when it's interesting,
In fact,
but
it
it
has been
seems like they
dragging
may
on
have
for years.
stacked a little bit too
If
much
those
into the
bigots
beginning
hadn't gotten it in their
town.
heads to convert the entire continent, we wouldn't be in this situation. But that's the way of the world. We shall not waver, whether here or on Tirfredi.
Have you been fighting battles there as well?
From what I've been told, Ptolemy has wisely and tastefully built their colony far from our city. Direct conflicts are in fact quite rare. But one day they will inevitably take place.
Interesting. So we're going into an island with a hostile native
I need to be
element,
going.
which
Goodbye,
is
Excellency.
completely understandable.
Goodbye, Lady Desire.
Already rife with competing countries' colonies and wildlife bigger than houses. And that's quite a comparison, since looking at the city we're in, the houses seem to be about 4 or 5 stories tall. Well, good to know what kind of mess I'm getting myself into.
Good day, Excellency.
Lady de Sardet, to what do I owe the pleasure?
I have come to inform you that my cousin Constantine and I are departing for Tirfredi on the hour.
Ah, yes. I did indeed hear talk that you had both received callings of greater stature. Allow me to congratulate you. Were you not named legate of the congregation?
You are correct, Excellency. I thank you.
It is a station of great honor that I am sure you will fill with brio and panache. The Mother Cardinal Cornelia will be enchanted to work with you, and your cousin in the future. I only regret that your departure is so sudden.
Really?
To be entirely honest with you, I was hoping to solicit your help in a rather delicate matter.
Tell me more about it, and perhaps I can take care of your problem before my departure.
Very well. A small group of dangerous heretics has found refuge in Serene. We know that your uncle tolerates the presence of all pagans within the city walls. But these particular non-believers threaten the fragile harmony of this place. We would consider it a tremendous favor if you would arrest them and deliver them to our guard.
Heresy is not a crime in Serene. You do know that, but I'm sure that my uncle would hear your arguments. Why call on my intervention?
The prince would indeed give us his blessing, but it would take time. Far too much time. For according to our sources, these fugitives have already made contact with a smuggler to take them who knows where.
But what
I
have
see.
they done?
You were hoping that I'll be able to do something before they make it to an enemy city. If your heretics are planning on boarding a ship, then they must be in the dockyards. I'll look into this and see what I can do.
Interesting. This guy's all sorts of sketch.
Could you tell me anything about Ptolemy?
It would be a pleasure. As you already know, our glorious nation is guided by our faith.
Theocratic
We follow the
nation.
teachings of Matthias, our founder and greatest prophet. And give thanks each day to the Luminous for having gifted us magic. The high dignitaries of Ptolemy are at the same time our spiritual guides, advocates, and grand mages.
I've heard say that dissensions have appeared recently in your nation.
Ah, you must certainly be speaking about the debates that have divided the Ordo Luminous and the more political orders. The Lord Luminous has an extremely pure vision of our faith and applies the words of our saint very strictly. But other, more open-minded factions exist within our nation. They believe that a less rigid dialectic would attract souls more readily to our faith. But their differences are purely theoretical and do not threaten the cohesion of our nation, I assure you.
What is your point of view on the relations between our two nations?
As ambassador of Ptolemy, I can only rejoice at the mention of our commercial treaties. We appreciate as well the welcome that your uncle gave to our missionaries. Thanks to your support, more and more believers wander your lands. The congregation is our most precious ally. To be perfectly honest, we have only two complaints: that heresy is tolerated, and that your treaties with the Bridge Alliance are maintained.
Interesting.
How is Ptolemy faring on Tirfridi?
We built a marvelous city, San Mateus, on the western coast of the island. Did you know that certain historians believe that it might well have been the final resting place of our prophet? Our missionaries there are a multitude. Not a day passes without new islanders joining our sacred faith. Of course, there are certain pockets of resistance. There is talk of a demonic cult, disgusting creatures. But I am confident that the Ordo Luminous will be able to put an end to these horrors. And we have tremendous hopes that the entire native population will join our ranks.
How goes the conflict with the Bridge Alliance?
Your territory is, alas, the only one that has been spared from the ravages of war on the continent. We fight on every front. Without great success, one must say. But what other choice do we have? These so-called savants not only refuse the light, but are determined in their fight against it.
And on Tirfridi?
To my knowledge, no one has yet seen any serious fighting. The Bridge have succeeded in provoking the natives there, and have their hands full keeping them at bay. Which leaves us greater latitude to settle peacefully and pursue our mission of conversion.
So the Cardinals, the Spaniards.
I must be going.
Lovely.
Farewell, Excellency.
May the light guide you, de Sade.
and he largely just explained that their ideal relationship with my nation is a toxic relationship in which they get to dictate what we believe, say, and who we get to hang out with. So, I'm not really inclined to actually do him any favors. Also considering that he's asking me to go after a group of people that, according to my own nation's laws, have committed no crime and arrest them, does not sit well with me.
How might I be of service?
You can start by explaining to me why you refuse to honor the orders agreed upon with the guard.
There's been a misunderstanding, madam. Of course we're ready to honor the orders. In fact, I've already had a word with your master-at-arms.
They're asking that we pay again, despite having already paid.
It's just that the price has gone up since. I've nothing to do with it.
This is inadmissible. If you agree on a sum, you need to honor that agreement.
I'm sorry, madam. I'm just an agent, and I'm only obeying orders.
Why don't we go and solicit other suppliers, Kurt?
When we've already paid for the merchandise? If these thieves agree to reimburse the original payment, it's what we do immediately. And do know, in the future, we won't be shopping with them. Well, I should think not.
Your master has apparently asked you to demand a second payment for this merchandise.
That's right. He told me that their attendant seemed to be hiding something when he passed the order. And so he must have thought the guard would end up paying in the end, whatever he asked for.
I'll be damned. And I'm the one they've sent to settle the affair.
Sorry, Captain, it's nothing personal. I'm only following orders.
Following orders? Yeah, we hear you. Makes one wonder which one of the two of us is a coin guard.
This whole story sounds suspicious and stinks of a scandal. You were demanding a second payment, but refused to reimburse the one that was already made.
I'm not the one demanding nor refusing. It's my master.
This stubborn fool is pushing me to madness. You understand now why I'm asking for your help?
Alright. Well, I took charisma, not intuition, so I'll go with charisma.
I don't think you understand who you were dealing with. Perhaps I failed to present myself properly. Lady de Sardet, niece of the Prince d'Orsay and legate of the Congregation of Merchants. During our conversation, you explained to me that your master forced you to commit a crime. That's regrettable, especially as you will be considered his accomplice in extortion and theft. You know as well as I that the congregation does not tolerate such illegal activities.
But I'm only obeying orders.
That's a shame. Well, as orders are the only language you seem to understand, I order you to return the guard the merchandise without delay, unless you'd rather your master is hung, and that you finish your days in prison.
As you request, my lady. I shall go immediately and ask that these crates be delivered to the attendant.
Now that's a wise decision.
Thank you. I was beginning to think this would never end. You're certainly honoring your new title. Bravo! The quartermaster must be expecting us.
Alright, I'll threaten to hang somebody and intends to get some work done in a quick fashion. Oh no. Oh, whoa. Am I getting jumped or did I draw my weapon on accident and then start a fight? Not 100% sure.
You're running out of energy. Drink a potion.
I seem to be getting jumped.
You're running out of energy. Drink a potion. Move away. Things are about to get dicey.
Yeah, I'm getting jumped.
You're running out of energy. Drink a potion.
Cool. Take everything. Some gloves. Some gold. Take everything. And take everything. Alright. Oh, hey, I have a worn spiked hammer. That's useful to know. Thought I had a melee weapon somewhere, but oh, that one has a feather. Doublet of good fortune. Ooh. So I should have checked all this before. I look part of a proper adventure now. I do not have the skill requirements to use firearms, that's fine. Alchemist's rapier, one-handed blades. I would much rather have one-handed blades than one-handed heavy weapons. I'll have to look into how I get that though. And novice rings already equipped, yes, yes. Oh. Should have checked my equipment much earlier than that then. Alright. Can climb over environmental features. Got a merchant.
Citizens, I present to you Panacea, the absolute cure of everything. Toothache, stomach ailment, and even an open wound. This potion heals all of that. And more still, this little phial is the product of years of research and intensive labor. I hear you asking if this remedy can heal one from the Malachor. Alas, not yet. But your question is legitimate. I am so close to finding the cure. But the Malachor isn't the only ailment causing you to suffer. Not true? Then don't miss out on this chance and give yourself a healthy and energized life. Rejoice! A phial only costs a few coins, and well worth it to make your life shiny and new again.
Does it really heal everything, your potion?
Everything. Absolutely everything. Except the Malachor, of course. That being said, it is known that those in top health resist the Malachor best of all. Then don't throw away this chance. Think of all the pains that this potion could help you avoid.
You are right. It's a deal. I'm gonna take two.
There's a man that knows a good deal when he sees one. Hurry now. There won't be enough for everyone.
There he is. He's our man, no doubt.
Interesting.
The speech is well polished. I even feel like buying some.
And if we had a word with him, I wonder if he'll serve us the same routine.
Have a nice day, madam.
Alright.
Ah, you're finally tempted.
In all honesty, I haven't made up my mind yet. I want to be certain that I'm not dealing with a charlatan.
In this day and age, I can't blame you. What might I do to convince you?
Are there any nasty side effects with this remedy of yours?
There are none. You will feel nothing but an intense sense of well-being.
Will you drink one of your potions to prove your good faith?
Of course. I take a little sip every morning. But as I'm in perfect health, you won't be able to verify the improvement in my condition. But if it helps you make up your mind, give me just a moment. There now. As you see, I am still in excellent condition.
Come on now. I saw you take that vial out of your pocket. Nothing proves that it's the same potion that you sell to your clients.
As a man of science, I consider skepticism a remarkable quality. But in your case, it is not skepticism, but blindness.
We need to steal one of these potions and force him to drink it.
Brilliant idea, Kurt. Let's take a look at his card.
You know, I almost feel like this is like running a D&D campaign. Players just tend to go 1 to a million real fast. It's like, okay, have a conversation with him. Didn't go the way we want. Alright, well, let's just steal a potion, pin him down, and force him to drink it. Because that's what all royals do. Definitely feel like my character's probably the problem child of the royal family here. Okay, well, he was the weird alchemist of the Alliance who upstairs was not cleaner during his stays, and was almost asking so leave him in his filth. The customer is always right. Interesting.
To my help!
And there it is. We were getting pumped again.
You're running out of energy. Drink a potion. You're running out of energy. Drink a potion. Move away. Things are about to get dicey.
Blunt war axe. I need to figure out how to change to my melee weapon for all these times I'm running out of magic. It's probably simple enough. Spin the mouse wheel or something of that effect. It's pretty typical. Alright, I was hoping to try to make it to the island in one go, but there still seems to be a lot going on in town. First, I'm going to finish up the charlatan here. Apparently, we're not going to do this with any kind of finesse.
Have you finally made up your mind?
I happen to have a vial of your medicine. Would you be willing to drink it in front of us, to prove that there is no risk?
This bullying is trying my patience. I'm beginning to suspect that you might be working for a rival.
You refuse to taste it?
You might have put something in to cause me harm or further disgrace.
No, look. The vial is still sealed. It comes straight from your stock.
And you dare challenge me when you have just admitted to being a thief?
Come now. You can see for yourself that I'm gladly returning your vial, so that you might drink it in front of witnesses. This might help to dissipate my doubts, as well as those of these brave folk.
Yes, no, you don't have the right.
Damnation. He got away. He can't have gone far.
Find him, before his head ends up on a spike.
Think back to the note that we found. We need to take a look at the tavern. He won't leave the city without his belongings.
Alright, tavern's just south. Oh. Really? He just like ran 10 feet down the street? He did not think his getaway plan out well.
Good day to you. What is your pleasure?
How is business going these days?
It's picking up. We've not seen many new customers, but of late things are looking better. The Malicor and the neighbouring wars have dampened commerce. The epidemic still rages, but the possibility of finding a cure on that island has given people something to hope for. Now that we have a city there, quite a few seafarers come by to spend their wages.
Alright.
I need to be off. Farewell.
Talk to him a bit more later, but for now, I am more inclined to find the way upstairs, and apparently just jack 7 gold coins in broad daylight. That wasn't the best decision I could have ever made. Interesting. Tavern seems to have some luxury features to it. No stairs over here. Here we go. Yeah. Perfect.
You again? What are you doing in my room?
I'm not the only one that's found you. Have you seen the mob that's gathering in the street?
I'm neither deaf nor blind. By the spheres. Why didn't I leave the city while there was still time?
The Alliance ambassador is quite unsettled by your commerce. And he's the one who sent me.
Sahin. Him again. Ruining my career wasn't enough for him. He's the very reason I had to leave the Alliance. And here I am, playing the part of the potion maker. Me, who was once a respected member of the Academy of Al-Sad.
Dr. Sahin warned me that you were an imposter.
That doesn't surprise me coming from him. I was a master alchemist. I understand if you don't believe me after all that, but I have a number of documents to prove it. I would still be one if Sahin hadn't set off a chain of machinations to disgrace me.
Why does Sahin bear you such hatred?
I wasn't fortunate enough to oppose certain great minds of the Academy. To criticize their methodology. I saw them inflicting torture on sick prisoners, making them drink the most vile poisons. To find a remedy to the Malachor, they won't hesitate to kill. I could not keep my silence.
It is for an act of courage that you fell from grace, and earned Sahin's hatred. Are you not ashamed to have poisoned those poor souls?
These potions are not harmful. That is to say that they don't contain any harmful ingredients.
But you could just as easily produce real healing potions. So why don't you?
You don't understand. I fled, but I haven't put a stop to my own research. This potion is an attempt to create in those who drink it a resistance to the Malachor.
So you manipulate people to use as experimental fodder? That is completely unethical.
I don't have a choice, but it does not harm them, I assure you.
If this potion were inoffensive, then why wouldn't you drink it when I offered it to you?
I ran tests on myself for such a long time that I ended up becoming intolerant to it. A small sip of this mixture provokes in me now a violent reaction. I mean, the mob would have been furious in any case, but a normal dose, I assure you, is without risk.
Your methods don't seem so different than those of your colleagues.
I don't torture people. And this potion only has side effects in high doses.
Perhaps, but you are hurting innocents. I cannot let your commerce continue.
So, what are you going to do with me, my lady?
Now this is a interesting decision. So on the one hand, the whole reason he's having to do this is just because he disagreed with people in higher positions of power than he. But he is also charging people to unknowingly experiment on them. And yes, his mind's in the right place to try to end this disease, but given that he's just moving from town to, sounds like he's just moving from town to town, I honestly don't see how he could think that his potion, or determine if his potion is actually working.
I'm sorry, but I don't trust you. I'm going to deliver you to Dr. Sahin.
My lady, I beg you to spare me.
I've heard enough. You are under arrest.
How unjust.
I may have helped him leave the city if he actually stuck around in a town to determine if anything he was doing worked. but considering that he just would sell a bunch of these potions, walk off, and pocket all the money, yeah, he's full of it. Go talk to Sahin real fast.
Your Excellency.
Lady de Sade.
I tracked down your man near the Coin Guard barracks.
Finally. Did you capture him?
Let's just say that I put an end to his activities. His reputation in Serene is forever tarnished. Matters turned out a little more complicated than anticipated. He is hiding in a room in the Coin Guard Tavern.
Why didn't you have him arrested?
Angry citizens have gathered round the building. They have sworn to avenge themselves after discovering his fraud. I decided it better to avoid the mob. But if you wish to capture him alive, I advise you to hurry.
Governor Buren will be happy to learn that a legate with great assiduity will soon be joining the island of Tir-Fredi. Thank you for your help, Excellency, and allow me to offer you this modest present for your voyage.
I need to be going. Goodbye, Excellency.
Goodbye, Lady de Sade.
Yay, level 2! Alright, that's going to be it for today. Hopefully in the next video we manage to get off of, or out of town and onto the ship, start our voyage to the island, which if this bit in town is any indication, the voyage to the island won't be exactly smooth sailing either. And we'll see what happens. Thanks for coming by Johnny Gray Gaming. Like and subscribe if you're interested in seeing what sort of trouble I get into in the world of Greedfall, and follow me on Twitter and Instagram, the links below, for updates on the channel and some random conversations of all things nerdy.